Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we're going to be talking about how moving to a cabin in the woods is not going to solve all your problems and you probably just need to take a vacation. That's a mouthful, and honestly I couldn't think of a shorter title for this video. But we're just going to be talking about why we feel we need to escape from our lives and why I wanted to escape for a few days. So, yeah. If you like that sort of content or you also like crochet style content, we have a lot of fun here on this channel and I would love to have you as a part of our community. So subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and comment down below what you do to try and like de-stress from your everyday life. To start out, I know that I fall into this trap of feeling like, oh, if I only didn't have my day job, I could do everything I ever wanted to do. And I think that there's a huge shift in this thought process, specifically with women right now in the United States, with the rise of, stay-at-home, girlfriend, wife, mom, what have you content. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with this content, but I think it could send the wrong message sometimes to women. That is a whole other video, but I think, a lot of us fall into this trap of like wanting something that we don't currently have, like having someone take care of us or, not having to work a day job. I mean, I can say for myself that I don't dream of having a man take care of me, but it would be nice to not have to work 40 hours a week. I love my day job, so like let's not turn this into something that it isn't. But I am a huge advocate of like a 4-day work week and a 6-hour work day. I just think that those things would really help us as a society. So I chose to come out to this cabin for like a couple of reasons. I really wanted to get out of Rapid for a few days. My best friend is out of town this weekend, and honestly, I really did feel like I needed to escape from my everyday life. I felt that the world was closing in around me, and I wanted to get away from a while. And so that kind of led me to, isn't that what a vacation is? Isn't that what a vacation's for? So I have been here for a little over 48 hours now, and I'm finding myself romanticizing what life would be like if I lived somewhere like this. I'm in a little cabin in Hulett, Wyoming, and I am about 30 minutes away from the actual town of Hulett. There's nothing around me. I have no cell service. I only have Wi-Fi, which I have not been in a place with no cell service in so long. So it is a very odd feeling, to say the least. So I think like, oh, what if I lived in a place like this? But then I realized I already do. I live in South Dakota and it's filled with pockets like this with no one around me for miles. But I know I would not want to live someplace like here or that full time. I would go absolutely stir crazy. I like my alone time, but I also like socializing with people, and especially with a job where I work from home, how would I get any social interaction if I was shut up someplace like this forever? I would get weird really quickly, that's for sure. I think we have this idealized version of ourselves in our heads of how productive we would be if we didn't have, X, Y, Z going on every single day. What would you do with your time if you didn't have all the responsibilities that you have? So here's an example for me. I planned this weekend out a month in advance. I brought 10 physical books with me in a suitcase full of yarn. In an ideal world, yeah, I would read all 10 books and crochet with all this yarn, but it would literally be impossible to do in a 72-hour time span when I also have to sleep and eat and, take care of my kitty and just, how do you relax when doing all of those things? So you can plan all of these things on your vacation, and I do kind of consider this a vacation. It's just a different sort of vacation. It's not one where, I'm on a beach sipping margaritas. I need a beach vacation sometime. But it's definitely one that's just for me, just nothing going on. So I really do feel like relaxed here, but I want to analyze why. So the first reason is that I'm alone, except for my cat, and she is great company. I really like my roommates. I live with my best friend and another roommate. But sometimes being surrounded by noise a lot can be grating on my brain. That has nothing to do with them and everything to do with just how I am as a person. I need a lot of alone time, even though a lot of people would tell you I need a lot of social time. So it's all who you talk to. But, you know, sometimes being around people all the time can make me kind of anxious. I have my favorite hobbies here. Like I said, brought a suitcase full of yarn and 10 physical books. I also have my Kindle with me, and I also brought my bullet journal, and I have my filming gear with me, and there's kind of endless options for me when it comes to those sorts of things. I also have my laptop. I could be writing or watching YouTube, obviously, like watching Netflix or Disney Plus. I still have access to Wi-Fi, so as I mentioned before, still need that YouTube, because when I crochet I don't always like to just sit in silence. I don't know really anyone who does that, I guess. The last thing that I feel relaxed here is, like, I don't feel cluttered here. Not to go all Marie Kondo on this video, but I really do think some of my anxieties at home come from my space, but I don't know what to do about it. There's not much I can do about it. I'm hoping that once we move spaces, it'll be better and I can spread out a bit more. I have tried to rectify my situation a bit with, using the yarn I do have and reading the books I have and trying to stay on top of cleaning my room, but it's just something that comes with time and something that comes with being, a crafty person. And I used to live alone, and then I lived with a partner, but now living with two people and having these shared spaces that I can't really monopolize, it's, different and difficult having to keep all of it in my room, but I do the best that I can. So all of these things are great for me, but what would happen if I stayed here longer is the question then. Everything is so great, but what happens once you're here for a longer period of time? So it is very quiet out here. It also gets like dark, like there's no lights outside anywhere for like miles. So I think the quiet would really like eventually haunt me and like almost scare me. I don't want to say that like I'm afraid of the dark, but I'm definitely like afraid of the unknown and like not knowing what could be out there, I guess. The Wi-Fi is good, but there is no cell service. So like, how would I contact someone in an emergency? I'm 30 minutes outside of the actual town of Hewlett, Wyoming, and an hour away from the nearest Walmart, which is kind of wild to think about. I don't think I've ever been so far away from like more urban areas, I guess. And so like, then the question is like, how would I get new books and new yarn? Like, eventually I'd probably feel cramped by this space and stir crazy, but with having to drive around 30 minutes to get anywhere around here, it makes me wonder if the gas would be worth it. So with knowing I was going to Hewlett, I was like, oh, well, like maybe it's just like a little town I could go explore. And when I realized that it was actually 30 minutes away from this cabin, I was like, is that gas worth it? Because it's also completely gravel for like the final 30 minutes of driving here. Back on topic. How productive have I been since being here? When I first got here and got situated, that was great. I also filmed a vlog update and a reel that I got posted. Then I finished a book and went to bed. Yesterday I woke up around 7:40 a.m. and I read and crocheted all day long, which was so fun. Originally, I thought I was going to come out here and just film things all weekend, and once I got here, I felt that want melt away pretty fast. I want to film, as I obviously am now, but I want to sit and talk, yap, if you will. I want to enjoy this time, and I don't want to push myself as I would at home. I'd be just as anxious here as I would be at home, and the entire weekend would be for none. Like, I wouldn't be relaxed. I would have driven 2 hours away just to be fucking anxious all weekend and not be like productive enough. I feel that enough on the daily, and I shouldn't have to feel that way on my little vacation by myself. Then, you know, going into it, is that not what vacations are for? You know, to not have to worry about everything in my everyday life. Some vacations are fun and filled with partying and drinking and, you know, making memories with your best friends. But I can't remember the last time like I did something like this, and I don't think I ever have. So no, I won't read all of these books or crochet with all of the yarn I brought, but I don't regret bringing any of these things because they almost represent like a possibility. Like I wasn't caged in by what I brought, and at least I know for myself I'm not overwhelmed by what I brought either, which is pretty cool. I get to be surrounded by my favorite things, and I got to be inspired by the projects that I created this weekend. I can be just me this weekend and enjoy my own company and think and journal and film videos that I think are fun, that I want to put out on the internet. I do think that I could do this for about 4 days or so, but I think any longer and, you know, that novelty, that romanticization would wear off. I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and, you know, tonight I'm really starting to feel that, like, I think I'm ready to go home. I think I'm ready to re-enter society, and it's feeling really good. I think overall this weekend has taught me that I do need to unplug from, you know, real life more often, and maybe put more money into my savings to maybe get away every couple of months for a weekend where I can just be me and not worry about everything. My problems will still be there when I get home, but they honestly don't feel as big right now as they were when I left home. So I really do feel like once I get home, I'll be ready to, you know, take on work on Monday and be productive again and start enjoying the warm weather. It got up to 80 yesterday, which is wild. So to conclude, no, moving to a cabin in the woods will not solve all your problems, and you won't suddenly become the person you've always wanted to be and reach self-actualization by just like going off the grid or quitting your job or, you know, becoming a stay-at-home blank. But it, you know, staying at home for a couple days or getting out for a couple days could be a good getaway, and, you know, is maybe just what your brain needs. I never used to understand cabin people when I was a kid, since my family didn't really have a cabin. But now that I do feel like I get it. I'm sure having to pack up a whole family for one weekend would be stressful, but for 2 full days, you don't have to worry about anything. This experience has shown me that I absolutely would love to have a cabin one day, or a timeshare, or someplace that could help me unwind after a week of grinding myself so hard. And it's almost like it could be like a treat to be able to go and do something like that. It's really nice to sit and romanticize what you think you would be like if you didn't have all of your daily responsibilities, but I do think that if you were, you know, to quit your job and just run away from your life, there is something to be said about like idle time. I think that there is a privilege in being bored. Idle time can get really boring really fast, and then, you know, maybe you'd start to feel like you don't have a purpose, and then, you know, it can kind of lead to more a different depression and anxiety. That's why we stress work-life balance, isn't it? Let me know down in the comments below what you think about all this. What would you do if you had 4 days to just do whatever you wanted in a cabin in the middle of nowhere? I would love to know. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.